What's up, Matt?
How you doing?
Good, man. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. I watched The Take yesterday.
Oh, you watched my first film?
I did. Well, I've seen The Lincoln Lawyer as well, but I watched The Take yesterday to prepare, and I like it. It's gritty.
Oh, thank you, man. That's cool. You know, I speak about The Take a lot because it really informs understanding me as a filmmaker and my experiences, but it's not a movie that, you know, is commonly seen, although it does have quite a life on cable now. But I always hope maybe if people enjoy Lincoln Lawyer, they'll be curious about my first film.
Well, it's very different, though. I mean, even just the music is like, you go from hip-hop to mariachi.
Oh, yeah, it's very different.
Let's actually start with The Take, because I mean, even the coloring, it's grittier, it's grainier, it's almost like Soderbergh in Traffic, the way you shot The Take.
Oh, I'm a big Soderbergh fan, and Traffic. There's very few films. There's only two films actually that I reference that are current cinema, because I'm not a fan of current cinema, unfortunately. But I want to be. Would be Traffic and Amores Perros. I shot it on Super 16 millimeter film, and I color timed it at Company 3. Yeah, it's definitely a realism and a raw grittiness to it that I wanted to capture. So I appreciate your seeing that.
Well, and it's funny because you say like Soderbergh, but this new film, The Lincoln Lawyer, looks more like a Spike Lee film in the feel of it and all the hip hop music throughout it and everything.
It's interesting. Spike Lee is the main reason I became a filmmaker. When I saw the movie Do the Right Thing, it forever changed my life and the axis which I was on. But I'm wondering, I'm just so interested that you sort of said that. Why? What about Spike Lee? I'm so curious now.
Well, besides all the hip hop music, which I didn't expect to hear in a Matthew McConaughey movie, I guess.
Right.
The quick shots, trying to think, because I saw it. When did I see it? I saw it about a week ago, and I wrote that down in the theater. It looks like a Spike Lee film. I'm trying to think exactly what I was thinking when I wrote that. I'm trying to think, but it was like the quick pace of it almost. Do you know what I'm saying?
Very cool. Yeah. Listen, I don't know. Maybe subconsciously, those experiences and of watching those movies live within me and come out. But I don't know. Like, I try to put the me in the movie. I mean, I love music, period. But there's an era of '90s hip hop and rap that I think is a really special era that has inspired some of the greatest rap music ever. So, I felt like Earl's character was a conduit in the movie for being that voice of the streets to McAllen. Mm-hmm. So I really tried to harken back, not to what the novel said, but to what I thought in my heart was what should be evoked in the movie. No, but I also really like everything you do is this, so we've seen it before, and then we do a flip on it again. If one movie comes out and we like it, we make 9 in Hollywood at the same kind of movie. I mean, when I went back and looked at every legal thriller or drama that came before me, they're all shot the same way. They all feel very similar. Albeit some of them are great movies, but they're all really similar. And I just felt like, I'm a white Jewish kid from the East Coast, from Philly and New York, but I just felt like, well, what's the world I want to live in? What's the world McAllen should live in? And I tried to evoke that. And I try not to think about what came before me because that just seems completely unoriginal.
How did you make the jump from shorts to feature films? How did you do that as a filmmaker?
Well, I mean, as far as filmmaking, whether you're making a 2-minute film or a 2-hour film, that's all the same. That's no different. But I think more, I'm sure in your question, you mean, how do you get from point A to point B in your career?
Yeah.
Truthfully, I had dealt with so much rejection, so much, disdainful, embarrassing behavior in the bureaucracy of this business that I just knew that I loved movies and I wanted to be a filmmaker so much that nothing was going to get in my way. I would commonly joke that the only way I wasn't going to be successful was if I walked across the street and a bus 100 miles per hour hit me when I wasn't. So I just, I was steadfast. Every penny I made, I invested in myself. I made a movie. I had an idea. I wanted to try it. I just like McAllen, I would make some hustle or some deal to get money from this person to make another short and then another. And I just kept hustling, and I just never quit. I was relentless.
Because this is like your big break almost in a way. I mean, The Take was a feature film, sure, but not as critically acclaimed and as big budgeted, I would think, as this one, right?
Well, actually, the critical acclaim on The Take was pretty unbelievable. I mean, it's weirdly enough, not that Rotten Tomatoes has any guidance in my life whatsoever, but we were at like 90 or 95%. I think it was 90. And then literally they bizarrely posted a bad tomato, and we dropped to 85. But it was one of the best reviewed movies of that year, and nobody knew what the hell it was. We were nominated to Independent Spirit Awards.
Oh.
I mean, critically, I could not have been more embraced by the media. But yeah, it's a movie that's been completely lost in obscurity that very few people know about. And whenever I mention it, everybody's like, huh? What? So I guess in essence, because of the studio release and the amount of screens that Lincoln Lawyer's on and working with Matthew McConaughey, a major movie star, and then the rest of the cast, yeah, for me, it's definitively a big break.
Speaking of the cast, Leguizamo's in both of them. Did you cast him purposely because you liked his work so much in the last film?
I mean, he's my best friend in the world. He's probably one of the only people who's really both been loyal and supportive of me early in my career. And I think he's one of the most brilliant actors I've ever worked with. And to the day I die, I hope he does everything and anything I make.
You want to give people a brief synopsis of the film for those who have, I guess, seen the trailer but aren't really sure what's going on?
Well, it's the story of Mick Haller. He's sort of, in my opinion, a bit of a down on his luck attorney who's hustling through the streets of L.A., going from courthouse to courthouse. So as a result, he works out of the back of his Lincoln Town car. And he's very much a man of the people, and he finally gets, his big break client, but not everything that actually it sees to everything that it appears to be is exactly what it is, and his world gets flipped upside down as a result. And, we watch him sort of claw his way out.
Did you film it in June? It looks like that June L.A. gloom sky kind of thing.
The June gloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, actually, we started filming in early July, so probably was still able to capture that rollover from June.
I'm just going to throw a couple of questions at you. How do you shoot? Do you like to do a lot of takes?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't ever stop shooting till I know I've got it, whatever that, and that's an instinctual thing inside me. But yeah, I mean, sometimes if I nail it on take two, I'll move on. But it's a whatever it takes type of attitude.
What's going on with Intricate? I know you were a big ball player back in the day.
Yeah, I'm no good anymore.
Well, maybe you still are. I don't know.
Right. Intricate, the script is being finished right now. I'm incredibly passionate about it, and I really hope that it's the kind of movie where I lived in that world. I know that world. It's based off one of my closest friends from NYU's basketball team story, and I really hope that I'm blessed to tell that kind of story.
We do something on the show called 5 Questions. 5 quick questions, 1-word answers.
All right, let's do it.
Ball or film?
Oh, geez. Film. Fuck, I don't know.
You can't swear, man.
I apologize.
That's all
Forgive
good.
me.
I'll beep it out. It's fine. Lennon or McCartney?
Lennon.
We'll go back to the 90s. Hip-hop, Pac or Biggie?
Pac.
Really? Being a New Yorker, that's interesting.
Pac's my heart, man. That guy's got a heart.
Cool. Film you're most proud of?
The Take.
And in one word, Brad Furman.
Heart.
Nice. Good word. Thank you very much, man.
Thank you. A quick question. Did you enjoy The Take?
I did. Because I expected, I was like, whoa, you killed him in the first 20 minutes of the film. I was like, what the hell's going on? And then, and of course, he ends up living. But yeah, man, I did enjoy it. I didn't know what to expect going into it. I watched it just because we were talking today. But yeah, I dug it. I dug it a lot.
Yeah, no, it's a movie that I always knew. Like, if I could remake a movie, I would remake that one. But the trials and tribulations of getting through it make it very special for me. And
what would you change? What would you change? Why would you want to redo it?
I always, because I'm a young filmmaker and the writers were big multi-million-dollar guys, I always wanted to dive into breaking the stereotype of the Adele character played by Tyrese, and I wanted to show how their worlds, albeit so far apart, are actually so different, and I thought that would really help. I also wanted to escalate the threat against Felix towards the latter part of the movie. I thought if I did those two things, it would have been everything I wanted it to be.